Hey, today we're going to be going over my big balls Harlowe. At the time of recording, it has the fastest clear speed for True UVH6 Bloomreaper on Harlowe at just over 44 seconds, which I have playing in the background right now. The Neutron Capture was one of the most improved builds with the level cap increase. I'm going to be doing a basic overview. A more detailed description can be found on the Mobalytics page linked in the description, but let's get right into the skill trees and go over why Neutron Capture is so good. We'll start with the red tree. The key to the build is going to be the Neutron Capture. This is going to take a portion of the damage your action skill deals and add that to your gun's base damage for 8 seconds after you use the action skill. That will make it to where your gun's base damage becomes pretty irrelevant during the Neutron Capture, and so that's why you can use low-level guns on bosses and it doesn't really feel any different than using high-level guns. The main place you would feel the difference is on mobbing, where you'll cycle out of the Neutron Capture more often, though Glow Up is going to help with cycling back into it. We'll get to that later in the green tree, but this was also fixed with the release of the Mad Ellie DLC, or changed with the release of the Mad Ellie DLC, so that it applies to Neutron Capture, so that's a huge improvement for the build as well. The Demon Core is going to be sending out radiation darts from your Chroma Accelerator that just go out and hit enemies while it's traveling. This is huge for bossing especially, because as you send your orb through the boss, it's going to be dropping these darts on them, and every 2 darts is going to be the same amount of damage as the detonation, so it can add a ton of extra damage for the Neutron Capture. And then going over to the green tree, this is actually where the majority of the points are. The points here in Confirmative Reality are where we're going to get all of our cooldown for the action skill, even though this is only 1%. With Meltdown, or even just the Chain Reactor, if you end up not having a class mod with Meltdown, you'll end up getting multiple hits per shot, and the weapons are firing so fast that you'll get this back very quickly, along with anyone that you're playing with in co-op. The Decoherence is going to be a multiplicative bonus that applies to any entangled enemies, and so with this it'll double dip on the Neutron Capture since it applies to the Chroma Accelerator and the Neutron Capture. The critical funding is going to be the big new change for this build. This skill makes it to where we'll get ammo back as we crit, but potentially even bigger than that, it'll let us entangle enemies off of crits. So that frees us from needing the Scientist class mod, so that we can actually run the high damage class mods like the Physicist, the Trooper, the Reactor. All of those can be run constantly now without ever needing to switch to a cooldown class mod. And then we'll also be throwing 5 points over here into Make Extraordinary. These points are going to give us a bunch of crit chance. It's 15% on a single target, but combined with Glow Up, that'll get us to 40%. Though this can go as high as 60% on its own if there's mobs in the area, like in the Bloomreaper boss fight, or just while you're mobbing in general. This will easily get to 60%, and then you'll be at 85% total just from this and Glow Up. Now going to the specializations, the Daredevil tree is going to be our main one, so this is going to give us skill damage from our gun damage, which will double dip into the Neutron Capture, as well as applying to some of our bonus elements. The action skill crit chance here is going to help us get to 90% crit chance with full stacks of Make Extraordinary, and then from that point we can get to 100% just with 2 points of Skillcraft, which we will have. The Riddle You This is going to help us with just getting some extra on-shot gun damage. That'll help with the Neutron Capture as well as just the general mobbing damage. The Best Defense is what I run for the 4th slot. This will give just general damage dealt that gets double dipped by Neutron Capture. You could swap this for CQC if you're running a Slippy, or even Groundbreaker if you wanted to do some Groundbreaker stuff with the build. For the gear, the main thing you're looking for is the Wombo combo. The Wombo combo gets 8 times the gun's base damage on its rockets, and since Neutron Capture gets added to the base damage, that means it gets 8 times Neutron Capture damage added to the rockets. So that's why this gun hits so much harder than anything else, especially for bossing, where it's really going to matter. For mobbing, I would go for any good fast-firing Jacobs weapon. The Buzzy Muzz is amazing if you can find it specifically with these rolls. The Torg licensed impact with the bipod makes massive explosions, though you can also farm for the Lucian's flank, which is a really good stand-in for that, and is better at single target damage, though your main single target damage will be from the Wombo combo. The Killspring is going to be the best general use rep kit. You can also go for a War Paint on this slot for max boss damage, though you will be a glass cannon. The triple bypass is also usable if you don't have any kill springs, because you would be able to just use it often for healing. The crit knife is going to be really good for the build, of course, since it'll help us consistently hit 100% crit chance, though you can also use the bismuth tipped dagger to get double dipping bonuses on the Neutron Capture. And then if you don't have any radiation guns, a radiation grenade in general can be nice, because once you irradiate the enemy, then you can start getting the automatic crits, which will help you entangle them and help you get your cooldown back faster. For the enhancement, the main things you're looking for are going to be enhancements with box magazine. So you would be primarily farming for the Hero of Bullets from Bloomreaper, since you can get the legendary class mods 30% of the time from his chest, though the rolls you want on the bottom will kind of depend on which firmware you're wanting to go towards. If you want to go maximum fire rate, which is what I've been doing, you would go for 3 out of 3 bullets to spare, but that really wants the double mag size roll on the enhancement, which can be really difficult to get. The high caliber for the main firmware set for the 3 out of 3 can be better if you don't have a really good enhancement with a bunch of mag size bonuses, because that one is going to be giving you back more with the double hits that you can get from things like the Wombo combo as they pierce and then hit behind the enemy. The shields, I would recommend either the Super Soldier or the Watts for Dinner. I personally like the Super Soldier just because of the move speed. The move speed is really nice quality of life, but it does give fire rate as well, which is nice for the build. The Watts for Dinner, though, is going to add its shock damage to your Chroma Accelerator, which will add extra damage to your Neutron Capture, so that can be pretty big as well. The Trooper is going to be the main class mod that you'll be looking for, but you'll want to find it with the 5 out of 5 meltdown. You can also find that on the Radiologist, but this will be a lot less common to see, since you can get these things like candy from Bloomreaper's chest. And then you can also use a Physicist with 5 out of 5 decoherence, or a Reactor with the same thing. Those are really good for the build, though in my testing having 5 meltdown and 5 decoherence together was better than going 10 points into either one. Though you could switch around a couple points in the skill tree, just moving these 5 points over to meltdown after you pull 1 point from the blue tree to get critical funding maxed out. So that is an option as well, to be able to get the 5 points here from a class mod and then just put the 5 points here yourself. Now I'm just going to show a quick demo on why I use the Buzzy Muzz. So if we shoot this gun without the bipod, you can see that we have to be pretty dang close to this enemy to actually get hits on them. If we get just a little bit too far, it'll stop hitting. But if we pull out the bipod, we can start going way further away from this enemy and still be hitting them way out here. So it is really nice for mobbing, since the ricochets will have that massive splash radius and they will carry your Neutron Capture damage, which can make them pretty crazy, though it can kill you pretty quickly as well. And then one other thing is with literally any Jacobs pistol, you can fire out your chroma accelerator and then immediately shoot your gun after you hit the button to detonate this chroma accelerator. So you'll press the action skill to fire it, press the action skill again to detonate, and then shoot right after you press it the second time to make it stay in the air like that. This is a bug, so it will very likely be patched out, so use that if you want, but I didn't use it for any of the clips in the beginning of the video. Just something that may help for people leveling with the setup. That's going to do it for the video. Again, I have a link to the Mobilytics guide that goes into a lot more detail in the description of the video. I'll also have a link to the Discord that I'm part of in there, and we can help out with getting the gear, as well as the save file for this build will be available in the Discord. So feel free to join and check it out, whether you're on console or PC.